terms of all the things that I've heard so far before I came onto this Reclaiming Your Securities was to deal with the private. So we're always, taught, just deal with your paperwork. It's an honourable way to deal, where you appear with your special trust deposits or by foreign judgment if you have to. So once we've done the four-step process and made it abundantly clear through our statement of benefactor that the designations have been incorrect and we're now correcting them, and we've maybe even also done the equitable relief for the estates. So all your documents are with the parties, the Treasury process is with the Minister of Treasury. After those time limits are up, what would you say is the best way to proceed on that basis? Because for enforcement, is the next step simply to send in your acceptances or your little small ones to kind of put the test back onto them?
Yep.
Yeah, so you kind of just say, right, well, all the time limits are up, the documents are in, now I'm acting as if I am the beneficiary, quasi-beneficiary rather, and you guys are taking action, and you're basically dealing as the trustee.
Yeah, so and maybe you want to put in there, and if they don't do it, then you should maybe follow up with something like, look, this is a demand for equitable relief for my estate held in trust by Her Majesty the Queen.
Yeah, and I've done that actually recently. That's pretty cool.
And I'm not saying demand isn't necessarily the proper word, but like I said before, that's what really the whole thing is. This whole Reclaiming Your Securities is about, to get them to perform.
Yeah, and just going back to what Abdul was talking about earlier in terms of all of the aspects that he was talking about, when Bill did his process and he was really just describing from the very start, he was talking about the IMF, right? The individual master file, the IRS. And he was basically saying, once that's updated, you're free and clear. So all these driving things, all these court cases that they could potentially start will just be dead in the water before you...
Exactly, and you accomplish the same thing by getting on the witness stand, and this is why I keep emphasizing on that, because once they know you're the man and you're not the person, then all that's going to stop. All of it's going to stop, and now at that moment in time, now you're in the private. Remember, we're talking about a private trust security. Remember in your power of attorney thing or whatever, we talked about that with the registration of live birth. It's been called in there private trust security. Now that you're not the person, you're in the private here now. And they drag, I'm not saying you volunteer into court. Remember, this is when you're dragging you into court and you want to go to trial. This is you're never going to make application to the court to go to trial on something. No, you're going to wait some kind of a charge, a small charge. It's not going to cost you much. You can get your feet wet. Traffic charge, anything that you can get the opportunity to go to trial. Some people, like I say, I know on this call and others that I've been communicating with lately, have that opportunity to go to trial, but for some reason they keep on resisting that. Not all of them, but anyhow. So once you've done your job on the witness stand. So like I say, now you're in the private, and now you're there on the witness stand, and now you've got the father of the country right there who represents the Queen, who's the trustee, the whole kit and caboodle. You need to get them to do the equitable relief for not for you, for the estate held in trust by Her Majesty the Queen. You guys aren't, what you're saying is you guys aren't doing your job.
Yeah, I get it. That's cool. So what you're effectively doing with that is you're kind of going into the public by going into court.
They're dragging you in, yep.
By getting dragged in. You're effectively appearing in public, let's say, because you're being dragged in. But you're just standing up there saying, absolutely not, the estate does not consent to any of these charges. Anyhow,
I didn't say that. I said, I'm not that person. Listen to the tricks, traps, and deceptions videos on our playlist we have on YouTube there, and we also have the whole tricks, traps, and deceptions Zoom meetings on the OneDrive there. Y'all got the link for that.
Okay, that's cool.
We walk through that process. Either you're just there to just play the game until you get on the witness stand. You're gonna have a conversation before you get on the witness stand. Yeah, you might get your ass out of there, but then you're still subject to being coming back. If you want to put the be all end all is to get on the witness stand and get them to however the court does it, that you're not that person. And right now is kind of a good time to do that because everything's done on Zoom, so you can record it. that's your evidence. So if they want to play games behind the scenes and pretending like it never happened or whatever, then you've got a recording of the whole event.
Yeah, nice. So that gets it into the public, the full process, so that you don't have to bring a claim or do anything.
Yeah, you're not that person, so you're not the debtor, right? And they're holding the estate in trust. They already have that. That's the whole point, is getting them back to be the trustee, right? That we took on, and assumptions aside. So
yeah, cool.
that moves you into the private, and then right then and there, that's when you can bring up the bone, and then you're demanding or whatever equitable relief for the estate held in trust by Her Majesty, and identify that's registration of live birth represents that estate. This is what I'm talking about here. The registration number points to this that you guys have. I don't have it. Yeah. You have it. Remember, two beings with the same name. One's the attorney of record, the other's the person.
Yeah, that's cool. That's great.
Or can be.
Awesome.
Okay. Thank you, Simon.
Thanks.
Thank you. Go ahead, Nancy. Question, please. I'm going to take 3 more hands, and that's it.
Okay. I'm a bit fried after all the information. I was pretty focused when we started, but anyways, I think the only question I have for you right now, just so others can get some time, is it possible for me to join your Sunday night meeting?
No.
No, it's not more Canadian content?
Probably, but it's just a few of my friends and I, and we're limited.
So there's no other groups that you have that are more Canadian content directed?
No, we've been doing these since 2015.
Right. Well, see, in 2014, I mean, I had some issues before that, but in 2014, I had been driving for 2 years, suspended license, no sticker, failed to, no insurance, and then I got stopped in 2014. At that point, I failed to identify, so there's 4 charges sent to me, and they took my plates, and they looked at me kind of coy and said, "Do you care if we take these?" And I said, "No, they don't belong to me, right?"
Actually, okay. They do, but
really?
That's the one thing that does.
See, I thought they belonged to Her Majesty.
Carry on.
So how did they belong to me then? Can you explain that?
Well, that's really not your point here, but.
Well, it helps me to sort things out and move forward.
That's just in the communication I got from the province from years ago when they seized the vehicle. I knew that, so I wrote a letter to the bailiff and says, "You got to return that license plate," and they did.
Really?
To me. And that's really a moot point at the end of the day.
Well,
because, like I said before, we want to establish that they are the owner, so let them be the owner.
Okay, so I sent an agreement, a 3-step, with a dispute to the facts you agree.
What's your question?
Yeah, there's a lot of questions there. So.
Oh, well, let's have one.
Yeah, I guess I'm going to look at doing the benefactor. So here's a question. From the bill audio, he says that if you're in custody, then you're the beneficiary. There was one instance that he spoke about. And I don't understand that. Why does that make you the beneficiary?
Well, we talked about that in a Zoom meeting, so I'd rather not answer that here and take up time on that, but we had a specific conversation on that during the earlier Zoom meetings with Reclaiming Securities back in 2020. You got to go through those Zoom meetings. But the answer is because the judge is holding him in custody. When you're in custody of something, it means you don't own it. Simple as that. Look up the word custody, custodian. Look these words up. So if I have custody of your car, it means I don't own it. Means I'm holding it for someone else. Hello?
Yeah, I don't understand that. Holding it for whom?
The beneficiary.
So they're holding me for me.
No, they were holding him.
Okay, holding him, because he hadn't established at that point that he was the beneficiary.
The judge was admitted she's holding him in custody, which means she does not own him, but she's holding him in custody then as trustee, making him the beneficiary of himself.
Okay, I'll just.
Anyway, I got to move on.
Yep.
We had a call
Yep.
on this, please. It's like I say, earlier 2020. Govinda, go ahead, please.
Hey there, thanks, Adam. I want to go back to the RC1 form. So I downloaded it just on this Zoom call and I'm looking through it. And I just want a bit of clarity. So it is like you're filling out like a normal CRA form when you go to register a business. Looks like they want you to, give all that information, get a GST, HST number.
Yeah, you don't want any of that stuff. None of that stuff.
So you just leave all that blank?
Yeah, you don't want any of that. You're just looking for the business number, period.
Oh, okay. So you don't really have to, like this page, it looks like.
No. You don't want any of those. I think they call it programs or something. You don't want any of that. Just the one number, the business number. That's it, period.
Oh, and that's it. Okay. That's easy. Thank you.
You're welcome. Joe Marie, go ahead, please.
Hi, Adam. This is my first Zoom call, and I just found you a few days ago. But to make it short, because I know you're busy, and if you just tell me to just start at the beginning, whatever. Anyway, my quick question is, I did 1099As on a couple of vehicles, and the bank said on the one that my mom did, they refused it, one through the beneficiary signature, and I realize that now about the whole bringing man in. And also we did it again on 1099 online, and the bank still refused it, even though the Treasury accepted it. So they came today to repossess her car. My question is, since I wanted to go back and do all this from the beginning, the whole securities thing, my mom's 88 years old. Do I just let him have the car, or do I stand my ground on what's what?
Well, you got to reclaim your securities if you're going to keep that puppy or go to court on it.
Okay. Yeah. If it was mine, I'd go to court on it.
You said you send the 1099s to the bank?
Yes.
For them to fill out and send to the IRS?
I filled out the 1099A and sent it to the bank through Chris Hauser's.
But you should go to IRS, not the bank. I mean, unless you were trying to get the bank to sign it and forward it on.
I was getting the bank to sign it or to forward it with.
Yeah, well, that's the whole point. You listen to that 55-minute recording, and if you don't do it, I'll do it for you. So if they don't do it, the bank don't do it, and they're not likely to do it, then you got to do it for them. So you fill it out and send it to the IRS. Just put it on the signature line, bank refused to sign or something like that.
Okay. I'll go back to that video. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And I'll be back. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Okay, this will be the last, we're getting on to an hour and almost 2 hours here. Go ahead, Monica. Question, please. Questions.
It's not a question, so go to someone who has a question. I love
Okay.
y'all.
All right.
I was just gonna give a little advice to these Americans running out there freaking out about getting pulled over, and paying property taxes. It's in every state legislation. Your person doesn't have to pay property taxes or all that crap on the car. It's all in American jurisprudence. But I digress. Love y'all.
Likewise. Go ahead, Duncan.
Morning, Adam, from Australia.
Morning. You guys are in tomorrow, I believe.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
I'm talking to the future.
Yeah, that's right. Back to the Future. So I've been looking at all the information for about 5 months. Still got quite a bit to look at. But my situation is I live in Australia, but was born in the UK, and I'm trying to work out how to get the registration of live birth, etc. I suppose the question is also to those who from the UK in this group, and it'd probably be good to connect with some of those people to see how they've gone with this. So I guess there's two questions. I'm trying to reconcile what the designation number of the birth certificate is on, and I can't find any information online. I've searched and searched, but I see there's really only one number listed on my birth certificate, which is an entry number. I wonder whether anybody knows what the designation.
What does the number look like? Give me the number without actual. You just.
It's just a 3-digit number, and it just says entry number.
That's the only thing that's on the birth certificate?
That's the only thing. I got another copy, so I had an original that my father must have got when he registered.
I would contact the appropriate government authority and ask them what that number is.
Right.
It almost sounds like, you know, because when they do a birth registration, they make an entry in the record.
Yes.
So registration number, entry number could be similar, but it's usually a lot more numbers than that. But maybe they've got some other system. And you got to keep in mind here too, as more and more people go about reclaiming securities, they might be changing things up a bit.
Yeah.
Behind, you know, to throw people off.
Well, I know, listening to one of the other Zoom calls, that some from the UK were talking about, I think, an NHS number or something, which mine doesn't have any other numbers on it. And I did get another copy just to find out if there was any more information on the more recent birth certificate. So apart from the certificate number, which obviously changes every time you order one, it's pretty much identical with no other numbers designating what that might be. And then relating to the registration of live birth, I don't know whether anybody in this group from the UK has managed to get a copy of theirs, because I'm just getting the runaround everywhere I email and ring. They're saying, no, we don't have that.
Yeah, I know that's weird. I've heard from other people, but I actually had a copy of, maybe it's in another computer, another drive somewhere, but of the book entry, the entry, and they call it the register there, the general register or whatever.
Yeah.
So I had a copy of an entry of that into that register in a PDF format for a long time. So somebody was able to get it.
Yeah. I just wonder whether they've been told not to give out that information. According to the Act, you should be able to request a certified copy of it.
Right. Well, maybe it's the reason. And so if you tell them you need it for inheritance purposes or estate purposes or something like that, those are very legitimate purposes.
Yeah. I mean, I found the index. I know what volume book it's in. I know what page number it's on.
You know, if there's anyone here that can help them out, maybe you can share your email address or whatever. But otherwise, like I said, I've had a copy of it. That entry.
Yeah, well, that would be helpful if anybody wants to email me.
And then when you immigrated from one country to the other, there has to be birth documents are used in the equation somehow.
Yeah.
To make the connection.
And just one other question relating to that: living in Australia but with a UK birth certificate, would you suggest sending that into the Treasury in Australia or both to the UK as well?
Do you have citizenship there?
Yes, I do. My father filled that in many years ago.
So you're Australian citizen, or the person is?
Yeah. Yes, that's right.
Yeah, I would send both.
Right. Yep. That's what I thought. So, Yeah, if anybody from the UK wants to would get in contact with me, that would be good.
If you want to give your email address, go ahead and speak right there. Somebody else might be listening to this later on, so they may not be on the call here now.
Yep.
It's up to you.
So,
It's up to you.
yeah, no, that's fine. So it's Duncan MS77 at protonmail.com. So that's DUNCAN MS77 at protonmail.com. That would be very helpful. All right. Thanks, Adam.
Okay, you're welcome, Duncan. Thank you so much. Okay, I'm going to take one more question, and then we're going to have to put a kibosh because I don't like these calls to get on so long, and we can maybe do another call. And I was thinking maybe Monday coming up. So if people have more questions, we can deal with it then. Go ahead, Ahava. Ahava. You can unmute, please. There you go.
Oh, there you go. I'm so sorry. I just got stuck. I was trying to unmute before and I couldn't do it. So I'm good. Great lesson today. Thank you, Adam.
Welcome. You're welcome. That was it? That was it. All right, well, we'll do one more then. Go ahead, 154-638-7141.
Yes. Yes, hi.
Hey.
Hey, thanks for your comments and everything. Everything you're doing is awesome, Adam. Thanks so much. I'll just give you my quick Citizens Anonymous intro. Hi, my name is Max, and I'm a Canadian citizen. More specifically, I'm in Quebec, and I know that it's been pretty long. I'm trying to get this quickly, and I just want to explain it as clearly as possible there, but it's about the long-form statement of live birth in Quebec. And for us, it's the Director of Civil Status. And on our website there, we have like a long form, and I got it, and it's printed on that like security bond paper, and it's like the only certified copy that I can get, but it doesn't have like the actual signatures of my parents and all that. It's not like you were talking about that photostatic copy of the original statement of live birth that's printed onto the bond paper.
Yeah, I've seen the act of birth, that sort of stuff there. Somewhere along the way they have something.
Yeah.
Somewhere along the way they have something with your mom's signature on it there, and it has to be somewhere.
Yeah, I have located it and got it. And just another thing, which I'm pretty sure it's like in most provinces, is that parents get 30 days or whatever to tell the director the name of the newborn if they don't have one, like at birth. So I tracked down and I got an original. It's not certified. It's just a photocopy of my original statement of live birth, and it has like all the key points that we in the previous Zoom meetings and all the documentation and whatnot. Has both of my parents' signatures, has the doctor's signature, and it also has a stamp from the Director of Civil Status with a 6-digit number, which that 6-digit number matches the last 6 digits on my BC registration number, or on that act of birth long form. It's all the same number. There's just two weird things, and it's very like due to my circumstances. Is like the director of civil status didn't sign. I don't see his signature, and there's a really big problem is that I didn't have a name, so they wrote in French.
That could be a good thing.
In French. Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Cause like, but anyways, in French we'll say bébé for a baby, so they just put 2 capital B's, which I'm pretty sure is for my first name, and then my family name afterwards.
So your name is BB. You said it.
But on my BC, and because like the registration date is like my parents, I guess they were undecided. Like they almost waited till the last day to send in my actual name. So that's like, you know, like if I was born in January, like my my actual registration date is in February. So it's like there's a big gap, almost of a month, and all my other documentation has my full name on it, you know, obviously. So I'm just wondering though, like, this document that I found, like, I'm golden with this, it's good, like, or do I have to find like the actual document that my parents sent in with my name and kind of connect all this together, or just I got the first and then I have the...
Yeah, Ontario has the same kind of thing where the child's name is unknown or sex is unknown. There's different reasons that the province will allow a birth to be registered with only the surname or family name, no given name or middle name. But that can be done later at any time. I haven't read that part for a while because it never applied to me, but a name could be added later on. So there must be documentation for that, and maybe they just make a notation on the original birth record. But there had to be paperwork for that. I mean, if your name is appearing on these documents, how did it get there? The full name, I mean.
Well, yeah, of course, that's like my same logical reasoning.
But there again, it's like I say, it's the registration number is most important anyhow. So.
Yeah, my gut was saying, like, I think I'll just stick with that, and I don't have to. Unless, like, because I had to track it down, so maybe I could ask for like a full, my full file that they have. Because I asked only for the.
You can always make a Freedom of Information request.
Okay. So yeah, that's just okay. So I just wanted to know like what your thoughts were on that. So, because it's to do the POA and all that, and I'm just wondering, okay, because they don't certify that copy, is that an issue? Or it's just a photocopy?
Well, you have to add, what I would do is contact the government there and ask them, like, okay, I have a copy, but it's not certified. Is this authentic? Is this authorized for court? Will the court accept this?
Okay.
I'm not saying you're going to court. I'm not saying you're going to court, but if they say yes, the court will accept it, well, then you're good to go.
Okay. And if they, let's say, hypothetically speaking, if they said no,
you have to push them. There's nothing I can do to get that birth record.
Yeah. But what I'm like, as you know, like in the step one with the power of attorney. And all that,
But that's why. Just for the sake of everybody here, if it's for an estate issue or for an inheritance matter, so estate matter or inheritance matter, you should have no trouble getting that birth record. You might have to push them if they're going to give you a hard time. You might have to push them, but it's an important document for those purposes.
Okay. So. Okay. Because I just to finish my question as quickly as possible here is that in the steps that you're saying, like when you get the power of attorney done at the notary with mom, that you'd want to try to get that certified by the notary's signature certified at the office. All he's doing is making a photocopy of the one you get from the government and marking that as a true copy of the original.
Yeah, and then you're present it to him. That's all you're doing there. And if you can't, sorry, go ahead.
But then you were saying that you go to get that copy of the original, like certified at the I should have brought it. I don't have it up with me. All those steps there, but it's
not. No. Let me. People aren't listening.
You're saying use the same notary for the two documents, but you only bring one to get it, like the notary's signature authorized by.
You're getting the notary's signature authenticated that he is a legitimate notary. That's all it is, nothing more. People you're asking me, are you getting this thing authenticated? No, you're not getting it authenticated. As we talked about on the particular Zoom meeting with respect to the POA, it's the notary's signature that's being authenticated. It's just validating that, yes, he is an actual notary in the province of on behalf of the province of Ontario.
Okay. I was just thinking of trying to maybe use a concept similar to that, where if you had the notary signature authenticated on one document, and then the same notary signature was on the POA,
that's what we suggest that people do. When you're sitting in front of the notary, having his signature applied to the power of attorney, you get the same notary, the same guy, to make a photocopy of the birth record and certify it to be a true copy of the original, and then he signs that, of course, and that's what you're going to get his signature on that document, and that document only authenticated. They won't authenticate it on the other one, but because you got it authenticated on the one document, and it's the same signature on the other, you see that he's legit. It's only to establish legitimacy that the guy's actually a notary, nothing else, period.
Okay. So if I was to take my photocopy of my statement of my birth and to prove like who I am and say like, you know, like a sworn affidavit or something like that, that this is, you know, and let's say my mom was there also to swear that this is like, yeah, I signed that, that's my signature, like I remember doing it, it was, you know, on the dates and everything was there.
I don't know why you're getting it. We didn't talk about any of that.
I know this is my own idea. And I'm saying, have the notary, like, you know, sign that, yes, I witnessed this whole thing on this photocopy of the statement of my birth. But because I would have an authentication of the notary's signature elsewhere, did that potentially help to, like, give force to the photocopy? Give it a little bit of, like, an authentication?
No. It's just the photocopy is just simply attached to the power of attorney. That's a back pocket thing. You don't even tell people you have it unless you have to. It's purely a back pocket thing.
I'm talking about the photocopy of my statement of my birth that the
So my
government gave me. Anyways, and it's confusing because there's so many. Anyways,
it's really straightforward. You go to the notary, you have him sign, you know, to witness the power of attorney with your mother there. You do whatever you got to do to get that done. While you're there, you ask him to make a photocopy of the birth record and mark it as a true copy, certify it as a true copy of the original. What you'll do is sign it. Okay, then you send that to the document authentication office, whatever they call it there, to validate that his signature is he's actually a notary. They send that back to you. You paper clip it to the power of attorney, and you put it in a safe place. That's it.
okay. Okay. Yeah. That's for. All right. Anyways, maybe I'll email you and maybe try to explain myself a little more clearly. But I thank you. I really.
I'm not sure what else. I'm not sure what else there is. That's it.
Because my thing is it's an idea. Because you know how you're saying like think to yourself. You know, so it's like, and I'm not able to clearly express it over the phone like this. You know what I mean? So I'll try to write it down in a more clear manner. But it was taking your idea of that step one with the notary, but like creating my own authentication process of my own document that I want to have authenticated, that the government might not so easily give me that authentication.
A notary is not authenticating anything. He's certifying that the photocopy he made is a true copy of the original. That's it. That can be admitted as evidence if need be, as an exhibit. That's how they do exhibits in court filings. Notaries have stamps for that. That's all it is. There's nothing else to it.
But like, let's say my mom.
So he can't give any more power to your documents. Zippo. It's not going to do anything whatsoever. It just makes it admissible as evidence in court. It's not going to give your paperwork any more. It's not going to carry any additional weight. Just so you understand that.
Okay.
Now, actually, you're in Quebec, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you're right. Actually, Quebec notaries I know are a little bit different. There's some of their dishonor processes are actually judgments. So maybe you want to sit down and talk to a notary about these things in Quebec, because I know they have more. The notaries in Quebec actually do have more power. Sorry about that. But you want to talk to a notary. I'm not a notary, and I don't know the rules in Quebec exactly, but I do understand, and I've read it, that some of their stuff can be like a final judgment.
Because I was reading I've been trying to figure this out, and you know, I'm trying to really also take some of these nuggets, as you would say, and it's coming from your, like when you say think for yourselves and all those Zoom meetings, it's like And then like when I wake up in the morning and I start thinking about the reclaiming securities, I'm thinking of like that Zoom meeting and this guy or that woman or whoever was talking. I just go, think for yourself, and I kind of like,
Yeah, all the power of
Yeah,
attorney is
so
doing, however people get there, all the power of attorney is doing is mom is granting her power that she has over that trust security to you. That's it. That's all that's happening here. So now you're the administrator. So as long as whatever your idea is in context with that and accomplishing that, then that's all that matters. But the notary's signature on documents does not give it any more validity. However, you're in Quebec, so you would want to talk to a notary about that.
yeah, okay, well, that's very cool because I was realizing that we were a little bit different. So that's why my research was making me start to think of outside the box a bit because of my situation. But it's also because I'm reading these things on the notary websites about authenticating and missing and thatting. So I'll have to call them and talk to them. Thank you for that advice. That's great. It'll stop me from like spinning my wheels and going in a circle. I'll just
Not advice, it's a suggestion.
it makes more sense because like that's why I was probably confused is that notaries here have maybe more
He will
powers
show
like
you
that.
with your
So
own eyes. Everything's upside down.
Hey,
You
I
can
gotta get
see
going
it.
here. We're getting
Then once
past
you
the
see
2
it
hour
and
mark.
start
and-
studying with me,
20 minutes
then
on
we
this
have
interview.
all the legal
Very
recourses,
much,
all the
thank
processes,
you
all the
very much for
status
that.
change to help you get free of these guys because they're
that's
all
it. I
leeches,
will,
they're parasites,
I
they're
will
demonic entities living in a human
Hey,
sack.
thank you so much.
Like so that they
Right,
can
people,
live
we're
like
2 hours,
rich
that's a
people,
long call, so we're gonna put a kibosh on this. We'll see if we can maybe do
So
one Monday
don't
coming up,
be
and I'll let you know in
Be
advance if that's the case or not.
Christ came again, so
Appreciate
you
you coming on,
this.
taking the
I
time.
can get this. You guys,
Love
I'm
you.
not a
God
rock
bless,
star
and,
as far
we'll
as
talk to
my
you,
kids are. They all got
when
straight
we
A's
do.
and stuff, but I never did
Thanks
in
so much,
school. I got
everybody.
A's and
Really
B's, but
appreciate it.
it was just more average. But I spiritually and
The recording has
intuitively
stopped.
knew from the beginning when I worked on my